Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talk Tissue. Today, we will be talking with Mark and Mac of Image Projection. So, Mark and Mac, thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate you taking the time to join us and to present your products to the tissue industry. For those of you watching, I think this will be a very interesting and entertaining presentation. Mark and Mac are the owners of Image Projection. Some of their products are pretty self-explanatory and it's going to be like a show and tell. So Mark and Mac, do you want to tell us a little bit about your company?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Brian. Happy Friday.
Thanks for having us.
No problem.
So Image Projection has been around for over 20 years, and we are in a very specialized industry here, which concerns global projectors.
Yeah.
And global projectors have now been very liked in the industry and in factories and warehouses to project safety signage. So over the years, we have, I think, accumulated an impressive list of customers, happy customers, and among them, quite a few Fortune 500 companies.
Very nice. So what other industries are you involved in, Mark and Mac? I know we're specifically focusing on the tissue industry here, but where have you seen some of your business come from?
Generally speaking, our sweet spot is the material handling industry, which includes manufacturing as well as warehousing. So workplace-related injuries in 2019 amounted to like $170 billion worth of damages in the US, which is a huge number. And for example, 20% of forklift-related injuries involve pedestrians. So that usually never looks pretty on the pedestrian side. So we are trying to empower companies, prevent accidents, enhance motivation, and generally create a safer workplace.
Okay, yeah. And why I tell everyone that this is very interesting today, because as I tour tissue mills around the country and even around the world, I don't know that I've seen this technology being implemented. And I really honestly feel like it's going to be very valuable to the industry as a whole. So guys, why don't you take it away? Why don't you show me a little bit about what you got? Show the industry what you guys got there.
Okay, so let's start with one of our smaller projectors. The projectors actually look like this. Some are even smaller than this. They just weigh a couple of pounds. Very easy to install with a mounting bracket that swivels. So plug and play. And this is a finished product. So they're customizable. We have a lot of standard signs that we offer, but if anybody needs customization, it can say anything. So, for example, we have here a caution forklift traffic sign. We have actually turned on a rotator that comes with many of our projectors. And I can tell you from experience, number one, projections get a lot of attention. People point them out to each other because it's just something so bright and crisp. And when people see it, it's like, wow. But once it is in motion, it gets even more attention.
Yeah, the traditional problems in the material handling industry is that either paint or decals or striping comes off easily as soon as the forklift tire hits the paint. So we see environments where on loading docks, companies need to replace the striping on a daily basis.
Yes.
Other environments might have to replace it on a weekly, monthly, or whatever basis. So our argument is the total cost of ownership of projected solution in most cases is lower than a conventional safety signage. If you consider labor, cost of materials, downtime, and then also always the opportunity of an accident happening while safety signs are being applied.
Yeah, I think as I tour these factories, like you mentioned, the signage, not that it's outdated, but people have grown accustomed to just ignore them. You know, you just kind of familiarize yourself with the mill. if I were to walk through a factory and I saw that spinning logo there, I would definitely pay attention and know exactly. So the awareness factor is very important there. So that's very neat. Very neat.
You're absolutely right. And actually, we get a lot of inquiries where people point out exactly what you said. People are used to the signage, say they ignore it. So we have the capability of triggering actually the projections with motion sensors, radio IDs, multiple sensors that can trigger actually projection. So it doesn't have to be always on. It can be activated based on an activity that's happening.
Oh, okay. So sensory activated. As you walk by it, pops up. Very nice.
Correct. Yes. Okay. And while safety, of course, is a priority, our Fortune 500 clients that Mark already referred to, a lot of these companies now, they're asking to incorporate actually their corporate logo, which creates branding, corporate identity, workplace satisfactions and motivation actually of the actual staff on the floor, and of course the visitors. So I'll try not to block.
So Mark, many of the people watching may be wondering, how do you project the image? How are customers able to make it interchangeable? So if one day I want to show that stop sign and the next day I want to show a do not enter sign, how does that happen? What is the process, Mark?
Well, it's all made possible through laser-etched, high-resolution glass discs. It's a very special product that will last for a long time. We actually guarantee these little glass discs for 5 years. They will not bend or melt or fade. And the great advantage here is that once you do have a projector and you do have the need to change the image or the location, well, all it takes is the exchange of one of these little discs and the projector will project a different image. So it offers a lot of flexibility to the sometimes,
changing requirements.
The different in requirements in factories or warehouses where all of a sudden one day the shelf is here, next day it's there, then you can change, the signage.
And company policies change, rules, regulations, safety standards change. So
exactly,
a very, very convenient factor. So what are the electrical requirements of the projector?
Well, generally, our projectors can be connected to any voltage between 100 and 277 volts in the United States. The electrical drivers will adjust to those voltages. But as we know in the industry, there's so many different needs, like hoists and cranes sometimes require 480 volts, and we can support that as well. On the other hand, some others will need projectors to be attached to forklifts or other vehicles between 12 volts, 24 and 48 volts. We can do that too.
Okay, so you cover all ranges of requirements. Okay.
Well, we control the manufacturing, so we can customize solutions.
So Mark and Mac, thanks so much for what you've shown us so far. Very interesting. What else? Any other little pieces you want to share with us to finish up?
Yes, I mean, there's so many possibilities, but just to name a few, not just signage as you have seen so far, but also crosswalks. Crosswalks is a very important area regarding safety, and people are always concerned that forklift drivers don't see where they are because they've been torn off. And we do create crosswalk images, as you can see in the picture now. So they can be customized as well. Another interesting area is QR codes and barcodes. We can project those and they are scannable. Wow. So with a QR code or any kind of these codes, if they're just glued on or painted on or a sticker, a forklift drives over, one little part is not legible, the whole code is not legible. So if we project it, that can never happen.
All right, guys. So to finish up, can you share with us your safety line projectors? I think that'll be very interesting for our folks that are watching.
Absolutely, we'll be glad to. And we offering two technologies in order to do demarcation of forklift and pedestrian aisles. And actually the global projectors and the line projectors can be working complementary to lay out entire floor plans of departments, of intersection and so forth. So let me actually turn on the LED projector so you get a good idea. And it comes in several colors. The most common one on the floor you'll see is probably the one we'll be showing you, but it also does come in green and yellow. So our LED line projector in amber color here can, depending on installation height, let's say 20 feet installation height, it can project like a 30-foot line. It'll show up very bright. Of course, depends on the ambient environment, but that's one of our solutions. It comes also in red and green colors.
So Mark, I see what you have in your hand there. It looks like you have a laser. You want to show us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. This is one of our newest products, and it is also a line projector. It's LED, it's laser based, but unlike the usual lasers, it is not a skinny line. These produce thick lines. And let me demonstrate that, but I'm gonna walk out of the way, and so is Mark, because I have a little remote control, and we're gonna move over there and turn this laser on.
Very nice.
Yeah, the mask won't help us in this case.
Okay, here it comes. All right.
So
cool.
You'll see it still looks a little pinstripe. So that's like from 12 feet distance, we have about a good 1 inch wide line. As you install it higher up, we can produce up to 4 inch wide lines in green and red and even in blue. You'll see these lines are more clearly defined than the LED projector, and also they are capable of creating the projection of 60 feet plus segments, which can be merged. So you can do hundreds of feet of sidewalk demarcation, or can lay out entire manufacturing settings or whatever you want. Some companies actually deploy it while they're doing the construction. The same as in the like the drywall company or whatever might use lasers to mark a line. We can do demarcation of the entire factory floor.
Wow.
And the wonderful thing, talking about flexibility, these can be supplied with earth magnets. So installation is literally plop, they're connected, you adjust the line and plug it in, done.
Wow.
So you can move them, but not just indoors, but outdoors as well in dock areas. And this is particularly helpful for nighttime operations, where drivers may not see the lines to each dock, but especially in areas where that gets snow, up in the north, where everything is covered, but these will reflect very nicely on snow.
Yeah, no, I know that is a very big issue up north. And the different safety factors that are associated with your products, I think, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So I recommend all of you watching, go visit. Let's see your website. You want to hold it up? Uselight.com. Reach out to Mark and Mac. There's their phone number, and reach out to them. Inquire about their products. I think it'd be fascinating for your facility. So Mark and Mac, thank you so much for your time and your show and tell. I really appreciated it, and I hope our customers reach out to you and you guys are very successful with your products there.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Happy Friday, and
we appreciate the opportunity. We'll be happy to serve the paper industry.
No problem. Thank you, guys. See you next time.